can't attribute that to just LeBron. Jordan was also ring chasing. Yes, he didn't leave his team, but he was chasing those rings, and Jordan was also fortunate for having a front office that made the right moves at the right times to put Jordan in a better position. Whereas the Cavaliers, with LeBron at the start, were really a bum front office. I didn't really give LeBron a lot to work on or to work with. So it's like, you have to use everything. The whole point of having a good debate, especially between two players of the magnitude of LeBron and Jordan, if you're going to have a debate like that, you have to look at everything. It has to be a holistic comparison, a holistic debate.
In these fields, full of made-up acronyms like BPM and PER.
They're not made-up acronyms. Like, you can't use accolades. You can't use accolades when you want to and then dismiss advanced analytics when you want to. It's like, you have to use everything. The whole point of having a good debate, especially between two players of the magnitude of LeBron and Jordan, if you're going to have a debate like that, you have to look at everything. It has to be a holistic comparison, a holistic debate. You can't pick and choose what you want to use and then call trash the things that you don't want to use. Like, come on. That's crazy. So my whole point is I'm probably he has something cooking up in terms of the advanced analytics, but you can't just call them trash. Like, you have to use everything in order to come to a real answer in this GOAT debate.
Well, no, not really. Despite playing all of the additional time and seasons, Jordan and LeBron each led the NBA 9 times in value over replacement, while Jordan gets the check mark in box plus minus, leading the league 9 times compared to LeBron's 7. In win share crowns, 9-5 against LeBron, and PER crowns, 7 total to 6 in favor of Jordan. In all,
that's still extremely close. Like, extremely close.
45 times in an advanced analytics field throughout his NBA career, compared to Jordan's 69 advanced crowns.
But again, as he said, leading the league. So the level of competition that you played against also matters. And if we're going to look at the level of competition Jordan played against and the level of competition, LeBron played against, is a massive difference. So this is the problem with using stats like this, like using stats that where you're going to end up saying compared to the rest of the league. Well, if we're comparing it to the rest of the league, then, you know, who else is in the league has the quality of basketball improved since the 90s? And to both answers, one, LeBron is playing against harder competition, and two, LeBron is also playing in a, you know, you can have your arguments about which era is better, especially when it comes in terms of defense, but the talent pool in the NBA right now is definitely greater than it was in the 90s. So things like that also matter. I'm not saying LeBron is better or Jordan is better. All I'm saying is, if we're going to have an argument like this, we need to use what's the word? We need to be holistic, and we need to give context. That's the word. We need to give context to things. So just looking at the league, compared to the rest of the league, well, there are certain things that also come into play.
About his NBA career compared to Jordan's 69 advanced crowns. This is really getting embarrassing now. But LeBron,
well, it's not.
Media darling, who was dubbed the Chosen One at just the age of 17 when he was still in high school, surely has more media bestowed awards than his airness. Wrong again. LeBron won 4 league MVPs to Jordan's 5. Have I mentioned the 452?
That's still very close. It's like, that's still, by one, that's still very close.
4 games and 17,000 more minutes LeBron has played than Jordan. Just checking. Jordan also won a Defensive Player of the Year award, and he did that in the same season he led the league in scoring and won MVP.
And LeBron should have also won a Defensive Player of the Year in 2013. He got robbed by Marc Gasol. You ask anyone, even you look back at that season, and you ask yourself, who really deserved more for being the Defensive Player of the Year, and most people will tell you LeBron should have won it over Marc Gasol. So again, context matters. My only problem so far with this video is he's making a lot of great points, but a lot of great points that are biased towards Jordan. Not saying that he's lying. He's not lying. The things he's saying are true, but the way he's structuring his arguments are very much biased towards Jordan. Like, you need to give the context on how close LeBron came to winning a Defensive Player of the Year and what happened that year. Because that year, LeBron would have also won. He also won the MVP. So he would have had a Finals MVP, an MVP, and the Defensive Player of the Year. So things like that also matter.
Does LeBron have a Defensive Player of the Year award? You might be wondering. But what about the metric that really matters?
Again, context matters. Just doing accolades for accolades is not going to get us anywhere, guys.
Winning. Check mark to Jordan there as well. Winning 6 titles as compared to LeBron's.
And again, I'm not saying winning doesn't matter. Winning matters. Look, I love the old heads, but winning for them is everything and anything. And I agree. In a sport like basketball, in a competitive professional sport, winning matters. However, winning in a sport like basketball, a team sport, is not everything. And it's not everything, I mean, in comparison to other individual players. Of course, winning is the end goal. They play this game to win. Like, that's the whole reason these players compete. You get the most money, the more you win. That's a fact in the NBA. So, what I'm saying is, in a team sport, just looking at winning one-on-one, I mean, we couldn't do that, but it's not going to tell us as who is better individually. For example, Danny Green. Danny Green has won 3 championships. Do we look at Danny Green as a top 10 player of all time? Do we look at Danny Green as a top 15 player of all time? We don't. Just as a quick, dumb comparison, if you were to do that, KD has 2 championships. Danny Green has 3 championships. Do we ever put Danny Green's name in comparison to KD's name? Never. It would be absurd. So just comparing championships alone, and just doing this one-on-one thing isn't going to get us where we need to, especially in basketball conversations. But you carry on.
4, again, despite LeBron playing in 100 more playoff games. But surely, LeBron faced tougher competition. Well, no, he didn't. Throughout his
I disagree. I think LeBron has definitely played tougher competition than Jordan.
NBA playoff career, LeBron James has played in 53 playoff series, as compared to Michael Jordan's 37. LeBron has played 28 total opponents in those series that either won a minimum of 50 games or, in a strike-shortened season, had a win percentage that would have won them 50 games in a full 82-game year. That is 28 of his 53 career playoff opponents, while Jordan faced a total of 27 50-plus win opponents in his 37 series playoff career. So LeBron has played
That doesn't mean he played tough competition.
50 win opponents.
It generally doesn't. Like, that doesn't mean you played tougher competition. You need to look at who was playing in the league at the time and look at those players and the players they played against. Not look at which teams won more games that they played against. That's just silly.
53% of the time, whereas Jordan faced a 50 or 60 win team 73% of the time that he was in the playoffs. Jordan was also more successful, much more so, against these higher end opponents than LeBron, as James has amassed a record of 16-12 against 50, 60, and 70 win teams, which is a win percentage of 57%. Jordan, meanwhile, was 20-7 against those opponents, good for a win percentage of 74%. But surely, Jordan had much better teams and supporting casts. Not so.
Yeah, this is where I kind of agree with him, because LeBron also has had his fair share of winning teams and he has underperformed. namely 2011. 2011 is a massive stain in LeBron's career that he can't erase. 2007, I'll give LeBron a blank check because the team that he was playing with, the team that he was playing against, were apples to oranges. And the fact that the Spurs were way better than the Cleveland Cavaliers, and just the players that LeBron had in that team were not up to par to go on and try and compete against the Spurs. So, that matters, but 2011, there's no excuse. Jordan has never, not even come close to having a performance like that in the finals when it matters most. So that I definitely agree with. LeBron, when it mattered most, in the most important time, even when he had a good team, he still underperformed. 2015, you can say he underperformed as well. But 17 and 18, there was really nothing he can do again. Going up against the Warriors that was just much, much, much better.
So fast. In all, during his 20-year career, James has played with 7 different players that made a combined 15 All-Star team selections.
He's played with D Wade, he's played with Chris Bosh, he's played with Kyrie Irving, he's played with Anthony Davis, and those are just Kevin Love, and those are just like the top 5. And all 5 of those guys are like Hall of Famers. Jordan has also played with great players, but in comparison to LeBron has played with better players and he has less championships. But again, who you're playing against also matters. But good point.
LeBron. Compare that to Jordan, who played with exactly 1 All-Star ever throughout his entire NBA career.
Good point.
Jordan played with only 1 other player in Scottie Pippen that ever made an All-Star game on a Michael Jordan-led team, and Pippen did it only 6 times. So Jordan played more difficult competition with worse supporting cast.
He did not play more difficult competition. I disagree. But he did have a quote-unquote lesser cast than LeBron has had when LeBron has had the chance to win. When LeBron has ever had the chance to win, like with the Heat, that team was better. With Cleveland, when Kevin Love and Kyrie were healthy, and of course with AD, which they've only been able to win once. But again, injuries also come into play in all of those situations.
Playing drastically less time and still won more than LeBron, while producing a much higher level of individual dominance, both from a statistical and advanced standpoint. Yet and still, the cases continue to be built by teenagers on Twitter who have no understanding, appreciation, or context for anything that came before.
Okay, that's a bit harsh. Like, just talking about people like that when there are also old heads out there that defend LeBron. So that's a bit harsh. That's what I'm gonna say.
What they see, they experience, they think is the best ever, all the while only being emboldened by rating-obsessed liars on various mass media outlets, all because LeBron has more total stats than Jordan, just like Frank Gore has more career rushing yards than Barry Sanders. David Ortiz has more home runs than Mickey Mantle, and Joe Flacco has more career passing yards than Joe Montana. Longevity stat accumulation is such a minuscule part of the overall equation to determine.
Here, however, I think that's a great point. Like, just comparing longevity for the sake of comparing longevity and not looking at the context matters, and the examples he gave here were very good. But then I also made the same argument about his championships and how he valued them, and that went the way it went. So, but here he made a very good point.
Determine all-time hierarchical greatness. There are arguably cases to be made against Jordan as the GOAT, but they do not and never will include the vastly and incomprehensible.
Stop. This guy is hating. LeBron does compare to Jordan. LeBron definitely does competitors. They're definitely 1 and 2. Like, what? This guy is hating for real, bro.
Intensively overrated LeBron James.
But anyways, overall, I thought it was a good video, but he definitely had his bias towards Jordan. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching to the end. You're much appreciated. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. Do all these things to please help me grow this channel. I may have to do a part 1 and a part 2 to this video because of how long it is. But as always, I'll see you guys soon.